For over 60 years, Barbie has managed to tiptoe a very fine line between feminist empowerment and hypersexualization. And that's hard to do in permanently pointed toes. Barbie's ectomorphic frame has been criticized for perpetuating spine-splintering beauty standards for generations of women. Even the new movie seems to be deliberately courting the Tootsie-loving denizens of the internet's hornier corners. Margot Robbie has even said that Barbie has no sexual organs and therefore can't be deliberately sexy. It may be hard to sexualize a plastic doll, but the patriarchy prevails. Mattel once reduced her cup size from a 36C to a 34B and widened her waist, not to reflect a more healthy human body, but to keep up with what weirdos in the 90s found sexy. Even when trying to be progressive, Mattel has made a few missteps. The diet book that simply says, "Don't eat" comes to mind. And today I'm getting into why Teen Talk Barbie may be accidentally the most culturally significant toy this franchise has ever produced. I'm talking about Mattel's oblivious sexism, the radical feminist terrorist organization that decided they'd had enough, and how the media cemented this fiasco into the cultural zeitgeist forever. This is CanonBall. Now, I'm not breaking news when I say that Barbie hasn't always been a shining beacon of girl power. When she first dropped in 1959, her design was generously inspired by a purposefully horny German joke doll called Bild Lily, who had a whole comic strip about what a sassy, sexy gold digger she was. No matter how many careers and accolades Barbie racked up, she remained impossibly frail and waifish. In 1992, little girls flocked to toy stores to update their body dysmorphia software once more with Teen Talk Barbie. The issue this time wasn't with her body, but with her voice. They've recorded over 270 phrases for this doll, and boy do they run the gamut. There are some positive, aspirational quotes like, "I'm studying to be a doctor," and "Let's have a campfire." I know that sounds like every basic-ass dating profile you've ever seen, but it was actually pretty progressive for the 90s. But they also loaded her up with some decidedly stereotypical quotes. "What kind of wedding will you have?" "I love shopping," and "Will we ever have enough clothes?" Those are all slightly condescending, but one short phrase would become a cultural flashpoint. For some reason, they made her say, "Math class is tough." Mattel managed to pinpoint and fortify a core tenet of institutionalized sexism in the space of just 4 syllables. They're basically saying, women are chronically discouraged from pursuing careers in STEM, and we're all trying to find the guy who did this.
Yeah, come on! Whoever did this, just confess! We promise we won't be mad!
Watching news clips from the time, public opinion was apparently mixed. On one hand, this children's author thinks it's a shitty and unnecessary message to deliver to little girls.
It is sort of a terrorist act directed against children, and that did not seem appropriate.
And on the other, equally valid hand, a condescending bozo thinks we could all benefit from focusing on a bad faith straw man argument that no one was actually making.
Cannot imagine a girl with a potential career at NASA throwing it all away over what a doll says.
So there you have it. Americans were split on whether normalizing the stereotype that girls are bad at math was a good thing or a bad thing. For their part, Mattel offered to send a mute doll, sans voice box, to anyone who was unhappy with their Teen Talk Barbie. But it was too little, too late for one secretive, feminist, terrorist organization who decided to mount a counterattack against the patriarchy.
We're an international group of children's toys that are revolting against the companies that made us.
Enter the Barbie Liberation Organization. The BLO was an activist collective who developed a diabolical scheme to steal hundreds of Teen Talk Barbies and Talking Duke G.I. Joes, meticulously switch their voice boxes, and then put them right back on store shelves, just in time for parents to scoop them up for the holidays. They reportedly performed this swap 300 times in cities across the country. This plot has all the trappings of a good heist movie, from the gadget guy to clandestine hijinks to steamy sex scenes. What really gave this operation legs was the 30-minute promotional VHS they produced. It included a step-by-step guide on how to join in on the effort.
If you were to perform such an operation yourself at home, it would be easy. This is what you would need.
All you gotta do is crack Barbie open like a crab, flay G.I. Joe like he's Theon Greyjoy, swap their guts, and then glue them back together.
Dead man tell no tales. You look terrific.
They even had Teen Talk Barbie herself deliver their mission statement in a press release, using state-of-the-art video effects.
We've turned against our creators because they use us to brainwash kids.
They sent that press release to actual news outlets around the country to try to get their message out. and they got some pretty big names to bite. Bryan Williams picked it up on NBC.
They call themselves the Barbie Liberation Organization, the BLO.
Williams kicked it over to his colleague, Irving R. Levine. Now this dude was a highly respected journalist. He was embedded in the Soviet Union for years, so to hear his dire tone applied to a Barbie prank is just delicious.
Still, one wonders, is nothing sacred? If protesters can tamper with the voices of children's icons, what can be next?
Okay, love the doom and gloom, but did anybody cover this story in a way that's maybe a little more, I don't know, desperate and horny?
I love barbecues.
I love Barbie dolls.
Which outfit is your favorite?
The one you're wearing.
I'm gonna be a veterinarian.
I'm going to be a journalist.
Let's make some new friends.
I just made one.
That's perfect. Elsewhere, Jay Leno recited a long and meandering joke that I won't bore you with, but it ended with this middling punchline.
But rather than recall the toys, Mattel said today they just decided to market them as the B. Arthur doll. Yeah, so that's
Fine. But the most lasting legacy of Teen Talk Barbie came a couple of years later with the introduction of Malibu Stacy on The Simpsons.
Let's buy makeup so the boys will like us.
The episode Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy even appears to have a direct reference to the BLO's big stunt.
There's something wrong with what my Stacy says.
My spidey sense is tingling. Anybody call for a web slinger?
Ultimately, the BLO taught the most quintessential Barbie-y lesson of all. Learn 1 million skills, leverage your brains and your beauty, and you can pull off something truly amazing that will make powerful men stop and say, wait, what the f***?
Let's make some new friends.
I just made one.
Thanks for watching this episode of CanonBall. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and jump in the comments and let me know about any of the weirdest Barbies that you've ever seen or heard about in the last 60 years.